In the last video, we have discussed on flare and make additional charging tubes in the compressor. Brace compressor charging tubes. Connect the compressor charging tube with the gauge manifold and nitrogen cylinder. Charge nitrogen gas into the system. Test the leak with a soap solution. Brace the leak spots. Connect the system with a vacuum pump. In continuation of this, in this video, we are going to discuss how to know evacuation gas charging and finally pinching the copper tube. Handle and operate the vacuum pump. Dehydrate the system. Evacuate the system on both the high and low sides. Gas charges into the system. Pinch the system. Task 1. Handle and operate vacuum pump. Step 1. Ensure that the power electrical supply available to the vacuum pump by using an online tester. Step 2. Connect the electrical power line of the vacuum pump to the power source, test board or switchboard. Step 3. Switch on the vacuum pump. Step 4. Open the valve knob LP port of gauge manifold. Step 5. Open the angle valve by turning the system to anti-clockwise direction with ratchet key or wrench. Step 6. Observe the pressure reading available on the LP gauge of manifold. The pressure gets reducing. Step 7. Leave the system as it is for 2 hours without any interruption. Task 2. Dehydrate the system. Step 1. Take the heating kit infrared lamp and switch it on. Step 2. Make sure that the system is getting vacuum and the pump is functioning. Step 3. Heat all over areas of the system with infrared lamp. Step 4. Apply heat uniformly to all areas. Refrigerant tubes, condenser coil, evaporator coil if it is exposed, liquid line dryer or filter. Step 5. Keep and maintain the distance between the heating kit and surface of the system 15 cm always. Step 6. Continue the process for 15 to 30 minutes. Task 10. Evacuate the system. Step 1. Notice and observe the pressure reading on the LP gauge of the manifold. It should be 100 microns or below, equivalent 30 in of Hg. Step 2. Close the angle valve by turning its system to clockwise direction with ratchet key or wrench after 3 hours from the time of vacuum pump started. Step 3. Close the LP knob of gauge manifold. Step 4. Switch off vacuum pump and disconnect the power supply. Step 5. Disconnect charging hose 1 from angle valve. Step 6. Close the outlet of angle valve with dummy nut 6 mm. Tighten the nut with a suitable size double-ended spanner. Step 7. Disconnect charging hoses 1 and 2 from gauge manifold and vacuum pump. Task 11. Gas charging the system. Step 1. Charge refrigerant in hermetic refrigeration system of a conventional refrigerator. Step 2. Charge refrigerant in hermetic refrigeration system of a frost-free refrigerator. Step 3. It is assumed that the unit or appliance which is going to get charged is under or holding vacuum. Task 12. Connect the system to charging cylinder. Step 1. Connect one end of a charging hose 1 to the valve of charging cylinder and connect other end to intermediate port of gauge manifold. Step 2. Connect an end of charging hose 2 to the angle valve of compressor and connect other end to low pressure LP port of gauge manifold. Step 3. Close the high pressure HP of gauge manifold with a flare dummy nut 6 mm and tighten it using a suitable double-ended spanner. Step 4. Ensure that the charging cylinder valve, LP and HP valve knobs of gauge manifold and compressor angle valves are closed. Step 5. Tighten the ends of charging hoses using a cutting plier. Task 13. Purge air in the charging hoses. Step 1. Open the charging cylinder valve gently or slowly by turning the knob 1 by 2 to turn to anti-clockwise direction. Step 2. Purge the charging hose 1 by loosening its end at the intermediate port of gauge manifold using a cutting plier. Step 3. Observe the refrigerant is escaping out at intermediate port of manifold in form of snow. Then immediately tighten the end of charging hose and ensure that the escape or release of refrigerant is arrested. Step 4. Open 2-3 turns the LP knob of gauge manifold and observe the reading on the LP gauge. Step 5. Purge the charging hose 2 by loosening its end at the angle valve using a cutting plier. Step 6. Observe the refrigerant escape, then immediately tighten the end of charging hose 2 to arrest the refrigerant flowing out. Task 14. Charge refrigerant into the system. Step 1. Note down the level of refrigerant in the charging cylinder and record it in the tab column. Step 2. Open the stem of angle valve at compressor process line by slowly turning the system to anti-clockwise direction using ratchet key or wrench. Step 3. Observe the refrigerant flow in the charging tube of the compressor by touching it with hand or finger. Ensure the refrigerant flow by feeling the charging line is cold. Step 4. Observe the refrigerant flow or transfer by watching the level in the charging cylinder. Step 5. Leave the system as it is for 3 to 5 minutes or till all refrigerant or required quantity of refrigerant to settle into the system. Step 6. Close the valve of charging cylinder after ensuring the refrigerant is transferred into the system. Step 7. Close the LP knob of gauge manifold by turning the knob to clockwise direction using hand. Step 8. Close the angle valve by turning its stem carefully to clockwise direction using ratchet key and adjustable spanner. Step 9. Observe and record the reading on the charging cylinder to calculate the amount of refrigerant is charged. Step 10. Disconnect charging hose 2 from the angle valve. Task 15. Connect system to service cylinder. Gas charging in refrigeration systems can be done using various methods including the weight method, pressure method and temperature method. Place the refrigerant cylinder in the weighing machine and note down the values in kilograms. Open the valve on the refrigerant cylinder slightly to allow refrigerant to flow into the system. Add refrigerant slowly and periodically check the pressure readings on the manifold gauge set. Step 1. Connect an end of charging hose 1 to the valve of service cylinder and connect the other end to the intermediate port of gauge manifold. Step 2. Connect one end of charging hose 2 to the angle valve of the compressor and connect other end of the low pressure LP port of gauge manifold. Step 3. Close the high pressure HP port of gauge manifold with a flare dummy nut 6 mm and tighten it using a suitable double-ended spanner. Task 16. Purge air in the charging hoses. Step 1. Open the service cylinder valve by slowly turning its stem 1 by 2 to turn 1 to anti-clockwise direction using a ratchet key or wrench. Step 2. Purge the charging hose 1 by loosening its end at the intermediate port of gauge manifold using a cutting plier. Step 3. Observe the refrigerant is escaping out at the intermediate port of manifold in the form of snow. Then immediately tighten the end of charging hose 1 and ensure that the escape or release of refrigerant is averted. Step 4. Open 2 to 3 turns the LP knob of gauge manifold and observe the reading on the LP gauge. Step 5. Purge the charging hose 2 by lessening its end the angle valve using a cutting plier. Step 6. Observe the refrigerant escape, then immediately tighten the end of charging hose 2 to arrest the refrigerant flowing out. Hydrocarbon gases have a wide flammable range, meaning they can ignite at relatively low concentrations in the air. Even a small leak or accidental release of hydrocarbon gas in a confined space like a refrigerator could create a potentially hazardous situation.
When handling hydrocarbon gases, it's essential to follow strict safety protocols.
Task 17. Charge refrigerant into the system. Step 1. Open the angle valve stem, a compressor process line, by slowly turning it to anti-clockwise direction using a ratchet key or valve key. Step 2. Observe the refrigerant flow in the charging tube of the compressor by turning it with hand or finger. Ensure the refrigerant flow by feeling charging line is cold. Step 3. Observe the refrigerant flow also in LP gauge of manifold. The pressure is increasing from vacuum level -30 in Hg to above 0 psig onwards. Step 4. Observe the hissing noise into the compressor using the pressure increasing from vacuum to above 0 level. It indicates the vacuum is braked. Step 5. Allow the refrigerant flow till it reaches 30 to 50 psig in the LP gauge of manifold. Then immediately close the angle valve. Step 6. Ensure that the wiring of the system or appliance is ready for switch on using wiring diagram. Step 7. Test the electrical power supply available to the appliance is in operating limits 180 to 230 volts, amperes, watts using a clamp meter or tongue tester. Task 18. Pinch the system node. Step 1. Pinching may require either on low side or high side. Sometimes it requires at both sides, suction or process line and liquid line. Step 2. System to be in working condition when pinching at low side and system to be kept off position when pinching at high side. Step 3. Use of proper tools like pinching block or pinch off tool handheld type must be compulsory to carry out pinching process using cutting or nose pliers as pinching tools to be strictly avoided as it may not serve the purpose. Step 4. Wear eye goggles and hand gloves whenever necessary. Step 5. Ensure that the compressor is working. Step 6. Pinch the line between compressor process tube and flare nut of angle valve using a pinching tool. Step 7. Hold the pinching tool tightly on the process line. Step 8. Remove the angle valve by loosening it from the flare nut using an adjustable spanner and a suitable size double-ended spanner. Step 9. Cut the copper tube between the flare nut and pinching point using a tube cutter. Step 10. Test leak refrigerant at open end of copper tube beyond the pinching point by applying thin film of soap solution into the open end. Step 11. Arrest leak if found by extra tightening of pinching block or double crimping the handheld pinching tool.
Once charging is completed, monitoring temperature, current, voltage, and pressure helps ensure that the refrigerator's cooling system is operating within its designed parameters.